prayers.
Almighty God, who in thy wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of rulers and parliament for the welfare of society and just government of men, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this land. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this house assembled. Grant us that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner to promote thy honor and glory, to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this country and of those whose interests thou hast committed to our charge. Amen.
Correction and approval of records of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Wednesday, 2nd July 2025.
Honorable members, the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Wednesday, 2nd July 2025 is before us for correction and approval. Can any honorable member please move that the said record of votes and proceedings be considered and approved? Honorable member for Tumanna.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Good morning to you all, colleagues, honorable members. I rise to move for the correction and approval of the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sittings of Wednesday, 2nd July 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Tumanna. Any second honorable members? Honorable Member for Sani Mentoring.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Sani Mentoring. It has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Wednesday, 2nd July 2025 be considered and approved. Honorable members, we all have copies of the said record of votes and proceedings, and as usual, we will look through it page by page, beginning with page 1, to be followed by your comments and observations. Page 1. Honorable members, we move to page 2. Honorable members, we now move to page 3. Honorable members, on page 3, number 57, Honorable Haruna Bari. Haruna took permission. He was not feeling well. We move him to those absent with permission. Honorable members, we now move to page 4. Honorable members, we move to page 5. Honorable member for Woodley East.
Yes, thank you. On page 5, suspension and resumption. It is stated that the assembly resumed at 33 o'clock. So 33 o'clock, I think we should just say 34 minutes after 3 o'clock or 26 minutes to 4 p.m.
No, okay. The assembly resumed at 33 o'clock in the afternoon. You said we should do it, we should write? Honorable Swaibu?
Maybe you say 34 minutes after 3, or we say 26 minutes to 4.
Make a proposal to the amendment of the entire sentence. And that they are, they have two different listings, 33 and 34. Which is which? You have 33 o'clock, and then you have 1534. It's 34. So the 33 should be 34. So what should we read, Honorable? The assembly resumed at 34 minutes, resumed at 34 minutes. After 3 in the afternoon. And then in brackets 1534. Thank you, Honorable Member for Woodley East. Any more on page 5, Honorable Members? Honorable Members, we move to page 6. Honorable Members, we now move to page 7. Honorable Members, we now move to page 8. Honorable Members, we now move to page 9. Thank you, Honorable Members. It has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Wednesday, 2nd July 2025 be approved with amendments. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Clerk, may we proceed?
Thank you. Laying of papers and reports. Report of the Finance and Public Accounts Committee on the 2020 accounts of the Government of the Gambia and other public institutions by the chairperson of the committee.
Speaker motion. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I rise to order 53E. Honorable Speaker, in accordance with orders 53E and 68-2 of the standing orders, I rise to move that the bill entitled National Environment Management Bill 2025 be committed to the Select Committee on Environment, Sustainable Development, and NGO Affairs. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Members, it has been moved. Any seconder? Go. Honorable Member for Nyanija.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. I rise to second the motion.
Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded
Motion.
that
Okay.
the National Environment Management Bill 2025 be committed to Select Committee on Environment, Sustainable Development and NGO Affairs. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Speaker,
So
motion.
the bill is committed to the Select Committee on Environment, Sustainable Development and NGO Affairs. Somebody is talking. Honorable Member for Fonyi Bondali.
Motion 53E. Honorable Speaker, in accordance with orders 53E and 68E, story 2 of the standing orders, I rise to move that the bill entitled Medicine and Related Product Amendment Bill 2025 be committed to the Committee of the Whole Assembly.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Fonyi Bondali. Honorable members, any seconder? Honorable Member for Woolly East.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Woolly East. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the bill entitled Medicine and Related Products Amendment Bill 2025 be committed to the Committee of the Whole Assembly. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. So the bill is so committed to the Committee of the Whole Assembly. Honorable members, may I now invite the chairperson of the committee, FPAC, to lay the report on the accounts of the government of the Gambia and other public institutions. Honorable Chairperson, please.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let me first do this correction in the contents in page 1. Page 1, the following institutions were omitted from the list. GRA should be in page 27 under institutions and agencies, at first, as well as PURA, page 43. And GRA.
Sorry, GRA.
27.
Page 27.
Page 27.
And then PURA.
PURA, page 43.
43.
43.
Okay.
Then under hospitals, chapter 3, hospital, that is chapter 3, you have Farafenye, page 62, and Kanifing, Farafenye General Hospital, page 62, Kanifing General Hospital, page 66. Farafenye General Hospital, page. The list contents, yes. Farafenye General Hospital, and that is page 62. Yes. And Kanifing General Hospital, 66. Kanifing, yes. 66. Okay. Without correction, let me proceed, Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the Standing Committee on Finance and Public Accounts, FPAC, I rise with profound respect to present to this August Assembly the committee's report on the scrutiny of the Auditor General's report on the government's audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2020,
together with the annual activity reports and audited financial statements of the public agencies, local government councils, and public health institutions for the period covering 2019 to 2021. This exercise is conducted pursuant to the mandate conferred upon FPAC under Section 102, 109, and 160 of the 1997 Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia. It is aimed at fostering transparency, probity, and sound financial management in the utilization of public resources. Honorable Speaker, permit me at the onset to express the committee's deep appreciation to the Office of the Speaker and the Office of the Clerk for their unwavering support in facilitating the effective discharge of the committee's oversight functions. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the Auditor General and his team at the National Audit Office for their invaluable professional input and technical guidance throughout the scrutiny process. The diligence, competence, and cooperation of the Auditor General have been instrumental in enabling the committee to interrogate the accounts with the rigor and objectivity that the Constitution demands. The committee equally acknowledges with gratitude the critical role played by the subject matter specialists whose expertise greatly enhance the quality of the committee's analysis and deliberations. The secretarial staff attached to the committee equally deserve commendation for their dedication, meticulous record keeping, and logistical support throughout the committee's engagements. Their services have been indispensable in ensuring the smooth conduct of our proceedings. Honorable members, the findings emanating from this scrutiny exercise are deeply concerning and warrant serious reflection by all stakeholders. The Auditor General's report unearthed significant weaknesses in public financial management, including unauthorized payments exceeding 246 million, unallocated warrants, persistent failure to provide documentation relating to budget processes, and widespread non-compliance with the Public Finance Act and financial regulations. The committee also noted highly irregular financial practices, including the encashment of the council checks, unreconciled transfer and transit accounts, and substantial variances in the foreign currency translations. Of particular concern are clearing lapses in revenue collection and accountability mechanism within key revenue generating entities, such as the Department of Geology and the Department of Fisheries, where instances of deduct receipts, unaccounted revenue, and failure to deposit funds on time were prevalent. Furthermore, misuse of contingency fund, the absence of annual borrowing plan, failure to adequately monitor government investment in development banks, and continued non-repayment of on-lend loans by state-owned enterprises, thereby exposing government to additional interest liabilities, remain grave concerns. At the subnational level, local government councils and public health institutions were also found to be marred by weak internal controls, poor asset management, procurement irregularities, and inadequate financial reporting. Honorable Speaker, in response to these findings, the committee has made robust recommendations, including remedial policy actions, enforcement of financial discipline, and where warranted, the referral of matters to the appropriate investigative and procedural authorities. The committee also calls on the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs and the Accountant General's Department and all public institutions to fully comply with the Public Finance Act, the GBA Act, and all relevant financial governance instruments. In conclusion, while the committee notes some areas of improvement, magnitude and recurrence of these deficiencies highlight the urgent need for the comprehensive reforms and a renewed commitment to sound public financial management. The committee urges this August Assembly to adopt this report and to support the implementation of its recommendations in the best interest of accountability, transparency, and national development. On acknowledgement, Honorable Speaker, the Finance and Public Accounts Committee of the National Assembly of the Gambia wishes to express its profound appreciation to all individuals and institutions whose invaluable contribution made this scrutiny exercise a success. The committee extends sincere gratitude to the Office of the Speaker of the National Assembly for its unwavering support and continued commitment to strengthening the oversight mandate of the National Assembly. Equally, the committee acknowledges the vital role played by the Office of the Clerk of the National Assembly, whose leadership and administrative support greatly facilitated the successful execution of the committee's work. Special appreciation is accorded to the Auditor General and the staff of the National Audit Office for their professionalism, diligence, commitment in producing credible and comprehensive audit reports that serve as critical foundation for the committee's scrutiny work. The committee further recognizes the efforts of the Accountant General's Department and the permanent secretaries of the government ministries, as well as the board members and management teams of public institutions, agencies, and local government authorities whose cooperation and responsiveness during the hearings were instrumental. The committee also conveys sincere thanks to the subject matter specialists, technical advisors, and committee secretariat staff, whose dedication, expertise, and tireless efforts provided the necessary technical and administrative support throughout the scrutiny process. Finally, the FPAC appreciates the commitment of honorable members of the committee, whose dedication, professionalism, and active participation reflect the highest standards of parliamentary oversight and accountability. Their collective efforts have been crucial in ensuring that this report accurately reflects the outcomes of the scrutiny exercise and upholds the integrity of the public financial management in the Gambia. The FPAC remains committed to the principle of transparency, accountability, and good governance in the management of public resources, in fulfillment of its constitutional mandate, and in the service to the people of the Gambia. Honorable Speaker, introduction. The Finance and Public Accounts Committee of the National Assembly is pleased to present this report on the outcome of the public engagements conducted during the parliamentary scrutiny of the Auditor General's report on the audited accounts of the Government of the Gambia for the financial year ended 31st December 2020, together with the annual active reports and audited financial statements of the public agencies, departments, autonomous institutions, hospitals, and local councils, local government councils for the period 2019 to 2021. These public hearings held between October 2023 and February 2024 brought together key stakeholders responsible for the management of public funds. The committee engaged with permanent secretaries of the government institutions, government ministries, officials from the Accountant General Department and the National Audit Office, as well as board members, chief executives, and management of various public institutions and agencies. In addition, mayors, chairpersons, and management of local government councils appeared before the committee to present an account for their respective activity reports and audited financial statements. This scrutiny was conducted in line with the committee's constitutional mandate, specifically under sections 102, 109 of the 1997 Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, which entrusts the FPAC with the responsibility to examine and consider the public accounts of the government as audited by the Auditor General. Further powers are vested in the committees under Section 1093 ABC and Section 110, which empower the committee to take corrective actions, including issuing reprimands or admonition against any officer, ministry, department, or agency found in breach of financial management regulation or accountability obligations. In accordance with the resolution of the Bureau of Committees of the 6th Legislature, the FPAC holds exclusive responsibility for the scrutiny of all public accounts, excluding the accounts of the 13 commercial state-owned enterprises, which fall under the purview of the Public Interest Committee, PEC. This report, therefore, captures the committee's key findings, observations, and recommendations arising from the comprehensive review of the government's audited accounts and financial operational performance of the public entities within the reporting period. It is intended to enhance transparency, accountability, and prudent use of public resources in the service of the people of the Gambia. The methodology applied, Honorable Speaker, during the parliamentary oversight and scrutiny includes evidence gathering through analysis of activity reports and financial statements, and the committee review and considered the annual activity reports of all affected institutions and received expert analysis from the subject matter specialists, Auditor General, and representatives of the Gambia Public Procurement Authority. Public hearings. The committee summoned witnesses from all relevant institutions to public hearings where they made presentations and responded to audit queries and other concerns regarding activity reports, financial statements, and management letters. Honorable Speaker, the report entails chapters. The first chapter is devoted to the Auditor General's report on the 2020 accounts of the government, where I will be reading just key areas. The rest, I would like the honorable members to go through since the report was given to them a few days ago. Under that, if you go to page 8, 323, environment to create new posts. The committee noted that 20 environments amounting to 79,058,793 were made within and across sectors to create new posts contrary to financial regulations. And on that, the committee recommends that the Ministry of Finance must not make or approve any environment for the creation of any new post that was not part of the approved manpower budget, in line with the intent and spirit of Section 29(8) of the Public Finance Act 2014. The committee further recommends that there must be proper planning at the level of the Personnel Management Office to avoid environments to create new posts. If you go to page 9, failure to page 9, 329, failure to approve environment. On that, a review of the ministries, departments, and agencies files at the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs by the auditors revealed that environment amounting to $246,223,158 was made within and across budget entities. However, there was no evidence to suggest that these are approved by the minister before transfers were made contrary to provisions of the financial regulations. And under the committee recommends that the Ministry of Finance should provide within 30 days from the adoption of this report evidence of environment approvals by the minister to the Auditor General for verification, failure of which the matter be investigated by the police. Under the same page, difference between individual BTL projects account balance and basket accounts. The committee noted that reconciliation of the below the line cash book and basket account special project bank account revealed that funds amounting to 17,588,719.15 still exist between individual BTL projects account balances in the cash book and basket account. On that, the committee recommends that the Accountant General should investigate these differences and provide details to the FPAC for confirmation. The committee further recommends that the Accountant General Department should adequately account for and report all BTL funds received during the year as they are part of the public funds received. On cancelled checks encashed, a comparison of the cancelled checks for 2020 against the TMA bank statement revealed that the checks amounting to 62,505,523.58 were reported as cancelled or void in the IFMIS, but were withdrawn from the bank. The fiscal checks were requested to confirm the cancellation, but none were provided for review. Payments amounting to 1,921,215.58 were cancelled and withdrawn. These remain as cancelled checks encashed. And under the committee recommends that the Accountant General Department should establish the status of these cancelled checks and provide evidence to FPAC within 30 days from the adoption of this report, failing which the matter will be referred to the police for investigation. Honorable Speaker, let's move to page 12 on confirmed compensation paid to the Faraba Bantam victims. The committee discovered that the sum of $18,271,059 was claimed to have been paid to victims of Faraba Bantam incident. The list provided to auditors did not contain sufficient information such as contact numbers, parents of victims of next of kin to confirm receipt of the compensation. And under the committee recommends that the Accountant General should furnish the FPAC with the full details of all those compensated in the Faraba Bantam incident, including receipt of confirmation within 30 days from the adoption of this report. Page 13, Honorable Speaker, unpresented supporting documents, 3.7.1. The committee noted with serious concern that 20 payment vouchers on other charges and 32 payment vouchers on capital expenditure amounting to 27,360,324 $27,360,324.1.10 and 1,517,329,882.42 respectively were without the required supporting documents. And on that, the committee recommends that the Accountant General Department should provide sufficient documents supporting the payment vouchers amounting to 27,360,324.10 and 1,517,329,882.42, failure of which the Accountant General shall be sanctioned. The committee further recommends that henceforth the Accountant General Department should strictly adhere to the dictates of the laws and not honor any payment without required supporting documents. And more importantly, the committee recommends that the Accountant General resends the list of pending audit queries to all the affected MDAs. Honorable Speaker, let's move to page 15. 3.8.34 on trace GTR and IFMIS receipt to the deposit slip. The committee noted the serial numbers of the GTRs and IFMIS receipts are not indicated on the bank deposit slips at the time of depositing the revenue collected during the period under review by the Ministry of Justice and Department of Geology. As a result, serial numbers of the receipts and the deposit slips could not be reconciled. The unreconciled receipts amounted to $7,279,194 and $43,500 for the Department of Geology and the Ministry of Justice, respectively. And on that, the committee recommends that the Accountant General should liaise with the Ministries of Finance, Justice, and Energy to ensure that the necessary actions are taken within 60 days from the adoption of this report. The committee further recommends that the Accountant General, through the PS Finance, should impose sanctions on accounting officers and board controllers that fail to present supporting documents for audit. Page 18, 2861 outstanding balances owed by the GAMCEL on gateway funds. A review of invoice and summarized statement of the payments revealed that GAMCEL has outstanding areas owed to gateway funds amounting to 11,473,267.54 during the financial year 2020. The details are shown on the table below, and the committee recommends that the management must ensure that all outstanding areas from GAMCEL are paid, and evidence of payment is provided to FPAC for verification within 30 days from the adoption of this report. The committee further recommends that the permanent secretaries of the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs and Digital Economy should engage GAMCEL to adhere to a strict payment plan to settle its obligations. Page 19, no approval by permanent secretary. The committee observed that vouchers amounting to 2,184,706 on interest disbursement to the various ministries and departments were not approved by the permanent secretary, Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs. The details are shown in the table below, and under the committee recommends that the Accountant General should provide to FPAC for verification within 30 days from the adoption of this report, approval letters from the permanent secretary for all the affected MDAs. Page 21, misuse of contingency fund. The committee observed that the summary statement of the expenditure reallocated from the unallocated funds on the financial statements revealed that expenses amounting to $474,383,920 were made from the contingency fund voted to cater for expenditures that should have been budgeted for. It was further noted that the payments made from the contingency fund were not in accordance with the dictates of the Constitution, and under the committee recommends that the Ministry of Finance must ensure that the contingency fund is used for its intended purpose as dictated by the Constitution, and the committee further recommends that these funds are assigned to the affected line ministries that they are meant for. Honorable Speaker, let's move to Chapter 2 under Public Institutions and Agencies, page 26. To begin with Gambia Investment and Export Promotion Agency, GAIPA, the foreign status deductions were not paid to the relevant authorities on time, and they are indicated in the table, and the committee recommends that the Finance Department of GAIPA should ensure that all statutory deductions are remitted to the relevant authorities on time, and that the committee further recommends that the GAIPA should provide FPAC with copies of the letters on this deduction within 30 days from the adoption of this report. On fuel management, the committee noted that fuel coupons purchased for generator use were recorded. However, there was no logbook which shows how these coupons were used. And under the committee recommends that the management must ensure that the generator fuel management logbook is maintained, open, checked, and reviewed appropriately. Page 27, property, plants, and equipment, land valuation. The committee noted total NBV of land amounting to, pardon? The committee Honorable Speaker, this under GRA, page 27. Thank you. Under GRA, property, plant, and equipment, land valuation, the committee noted a total NBV of land amounting to 374.463 million as at 31st December 2021. Based on assessment of the values, it was noted these values were dating back to 2007 and excluded the Brikama addition in 2021. The committee is of the view that the management should consider a revaluation to ensure that the land values reflected in the financial statements reflect the market value. You could see the table below, and under the committee recommends that management should review the above table and conduct a revaluation of the lands owned by the authority to ensure that the land values in the financial statements reflect recent market values. On sundry receivables GSM levy collection, on the same page, the table is indicated below, and in page 28, the committee discovered that the authority made arrangements through a letter from the Office of the President dated 30th March 2015 and reference indicated regarding the collection of the GSML levy. The letter also specifies that whatever amount is collected will be distributed between GRTS and GRE at a ratio of 95% is to 5%. The committee, however, noticed that closing balances relating to the 5% GSM levy fees due to the authority was yet to be settled or recovered for the current year dating back 2017, and under recommends that the outstanding amount should be pursued by the management to be recovered and utilized for positive contribution towards the authority. Honorable Speaker, we move to page 30, Independent Electoral Commission. The Independent Electoral Commission presented its annual activity report, audited financial statement for the years ended 31st December 2017, 18, 19. The GBBA has not done any procurement compliance review of IEC since 2017. During the interface with the board and management of IEC, the committee observed that, and the observations are contained in the report. I'll just move to page 33. Page 33, property, plans, and equipment. The committee noted that the following during the review of the property, plan, and equipment. That is the capitalization policy. Some items were capitalized when they should have been expensed. According to the IEC accounting manual, assets valued at 5,000 or more and have a useful economic life of 1 year or more are booked as fixed assets capitalized. The fixed assets register. During the review of the fixed asset register, the committee noted that the commission maintains a manual fixed asset register in a logbook. And then on capital grant, the committee noted that no grant income was released during the year under review. In relation to the grant for the commission's motor vehicles, that has a closing balance of $25,628,572. An opening balance difference was also noted on the capital grant account amounting to $579,194, for which no documents were provided for review. Capital funding account, as per Note 6 and Note 6 of the 2017 financial statement, the capital funding account has a movement of $800,000, for which no supporting documents were provided to ascertain that the accounting treatment applied is accurate. Asset schedule, the committee noted the differences between the fixed asset schedule and the figures in the trial balance as at 31st December 2017 are shown in the table. And the committee made the following recommendations: that the management should always comply with the Commission fixed asset capitalization policy, and that the management should explore the possibility of automating the fixed asset register, and that the opening balance difference must be investigated and rectified to ensure that such differences do not exist in future, and that furthermore supporting documents relating to the movement in the capital fund account should be provided to FPAC within 30 days from the adoption of the report for review to confirm the basis of movement, and that the management should carry out a detailed reconciliation between the asset schedule to the financial statements to ensure the net book value reflecting in the balance sheet is not misstated. Honorable Speaker, we move to page 37, and that is procurement. The committee noted that the following expense with a single invoice attached, but the amount exceeded the GPS single source threshold and indicated in the table, and therefore recommends that management must investigate the above to ensure that there is compliance. Single sourcing approval should always be obtained from GPA. Honorable Speaker, page 40, National Nutrition Agency, NANA. National Nutrition Agency presented its annual activity report and audited financial statements for the years ended 31st December 2020 and 2021. And the GPA, page 40, GPA Procurement Compliance Report for consideration by FPAC. During the interface with the board and management of NANA, the committee made the observations detailed below. The findings and recommendations are entailed in the report. Can we move to page 40? Under the same institution, page 42 rather, 3.5 expenditure. The committee noted that from July to December 2020, that management fees from the Social Safety Net Project, SSNP, amounting to 5,495,140 were paid to all staff at different rates. Although board approval was provided to external auditors, the basis of the rates applied in the absence of detailed calculations showing the rates applicable could not be ascertained. And under the committee recommends that management should furnish FPAC with evidence supporting the basis of these calculations within 30 days from the adoption of the report. Page 43, PURA, that is Public Utilities Regulatory Authority. The Public Utilities Regulatory Authority's PURA presented its annual activity report and audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2020. GPA's last procurement compliance report of PURA was for 2017 and 2018. GPA's review for 2019 to 2022 was scheduled for November-December 2023. During the interface with the board and management of PURA, the committee observed some key issues. And the issues, findings, and recommendations are entailed in the report. Honorable Speaker, we move to page 48, Public Health Facilities, that is chapter 3. To begin with Bansan General Hospital. The hospital presented its annual activity report and audited financial statement for the years ended at 4th December 2019 to 2021. And during the interface, the board and management of Bansan General Hospital, the FPAC, made some observations. And the observations and recommendations are entailed in the report. And page 48, that is 3.1.3, in increment of board allowances. The committee noted with great concern that the board discussed and approved the increment of its allowances from 1,500 to 3,000 during the meeting held on the 11th September 2021. Also during the meeting held on the 18th December 2021, the board members agreed again to further increase the board allowance from 3,000 to 5,000 without any evidence of approval by the minister for both increments. And under the committee recommends that the management should provide to FPAC the minutes conveying the increment within 14 days from the adoption of this report. The committee further recommends that the matter should be investigated by the Ministry of Health and reported to FPAC within 30 days from the adoption of this report. Page 50, Payment of unapproved allowances. Page 50. The committee noted the hospital paid monthly supervision allowance amounting to 7,665 to senior staff and bi-monthly firewood allowance of 6,500 during the 3 years under review. The above allowances were not listed among the PMO approved allowances, and under the committee recommends that the management must cease payment of the said allowances pending approval from the Personnel Management Office. Under Bundu Maternal Child Hospital, on the same page 50, the Bundu Maternal Child Hospital presented its annual activity report and audited financial statement for the years ended 31st December 2016 and 16 and 17. During interface with the board and management of the hospital, the committee made the following observations, and they are contained in the report. In page 51, free maternal services. The committee noted with great concern that remunerations had been supplemented by the drug revolving fund, which is solely meant for procurement of supplementary drugs. And on that, the committee recommends that the board and the ministry should come up with the immediate measures to remedy the situation. Buyam General Hospital, the hospital presented its annual activity report and audited financial statement for the years ended 4 December 2017 to 2021 for consideration by FPAC, and the committee observed the following, and they are contained in the report. In page 54, under statement of domestic revenue, the committee discovered that the receipt books recorded in the domestic revenue for the period 1st July 2019 to 31st December 2021 were misstated in the financial statements as shown in the table, and under recommended that the management must ensure that the adjustments are made accordingly and presented to FPAC within 30 days from the adoption of the report. Official payments, the committee observed that there were no traces of recent payments for the 2 years, that is 1st December 2015 to 30th November 2017, from the cash book and bank statements amounting to 260,000. The details are shown in the table. And under the committee recommends that the management must present to FPAC evidence of payment made by official for the 2-year period and how it was accounted for within 14 days from the adoption of this report. On accounted medical certificates, the committee observed that medical certificates were issued for $500 to patients upon request. However, the committee noted that 74 medical certificates amounting to $37,000 were not accounted for. They were also not recorded in the medical certificate register. And on that, the committee recommends that the management must ensure that this discrepancy is investigated and evidence provided to FPAC on how the certificates were accounted for within 30 days from the adoption of this report, failure of which the amount must be fully recovered from the officer responsible. Domestic revenue not banked. From a review of the domestic account, the committee discovered that from the revenue collected for the period 1st July 2019 to 31st December 2021, an amount of $115,625 was not logged into the bank account. Also, 2 receipts amounting to $52,600 were raised in respect of home rental and food services, but did not indicate the amount relating to the food service and home rental respectively. The committee therefore recommends that the management must ensure that the amount is recovered and paid back into the account, and evidence is provided to FPAC within 30 days from the adoption of this report. Unaccounted DRF tickets, the committee noted with concern that exhausted DRF tickets books amounting to $179,175 were neither banked nor recorded in both the collector's book and then the cashier's cash book, and recommends that the management must ensure that the amount is recovered and paid back into the account within 30 days from the adoption of this report. Difference between payment vouchers and supporting documents, the same page, the committee noted from the review of some payment vouchers that a difference of $47,341 exist between the payment vouchers and their respective attached receipts, and recommends that the management must provide the relevant supporting documents to FPAC within 30 days from the adoption of this report for review. Failure to do so, the amount must be recovered in full immediately. Page 58, failure to resume duties after completion of duties. Review of selected personal files revealed that registered nurse and anesthetic left the country after completing his duties with the American International University of West Africa. He signed a bond on the 15th July 2019 to serve the hospital for a minimum of 4 years after the completion of his studies. The bond clearly states that when he fails to do so, he will be liable to pay the hospital the salary paid to him for 2 years of his studies, plus 50% of the costs incurred on him by the hospital. His main surety was the acting deputy chief executive officer, as at the time of the signing of the bond. The guarantor of the staff concerned was redeployed to Farafenni with a letter dated 27 April 2022, a reference number indicated, without serving the bond. The committee therefore recommends that the hospital must follow up the guarantor to make the necessary payment within 30 days from the adoption of this report. Page 62, Farafenni General Hospital. Farafenni General Hospital presented its annual activity report and audited financial statement for the years ended 31st December 2016 to 2021. The GPA only had statements from the GPA only had procurement compliance reports for 2015 and
for Hansard record, GPPA, not GPA.
The GPA only had procurement compliance reports for 2015 to 2017, which were treated by National Assembly Select Committee on Health. During the interface with the board and management of Farafenni General Hospital, the committee made key observations and they are entailed in the report below. In page 63, procurement process for the hospital sub-accounts. The committee observed that the procurements amounting to 751,244.17 in 2020 and then 2,031,973.40 in 2021 from the hospital sub-accounts did not undergo GPPA procurement processes. Recommendation, the committee recommends that the CEO of Farafenni General Hospital must provide to FPAC within 30 days from the adoption of this report a detailed explanation of why the GPPA requirements were not adhered to. Maybe you don't understand, but I did so. 64, approved allowances. The committee noted that the allowances paid to staff were not approved by the board of the ministry. Hospital management did not provide any evidence of approval. A sample of the approved allowances are listed in the table below, and on that the committee recommends that all unapproved allowances are paid and immediately recovered from the authorizing authority. Failure of which the matter shall be reported to the police. On the Caribbean General Hospital, page 66, the hospital presented its annual activity report and audited financial statements for the years ended 31st December 2010 to 2018. The GPA has not done any procurement compliance review for KGH 6-2015. During the interface with the board and management of KGH, the committee noted the following listed in the table in the various in the report. And under unpresented payment vouchers, the committee observed that the hospital did not present some of the payment vouchers for audit inspection, and details are listed in the table, and recommends that the management should make sure that payment vouchers query are provided to FPAC within 30 days from the adoption of this report. Payment without adequate supporting documents. The committee noted the payment vouchers below without adequate supporting documents and recommends that all missing supporting documents should be provided to the FPAC within 30 days from the adoption of this report, and further recommends that in future, all payment vouchers accompanied by relevant supporting documents must be provided to the auditors on time. Page 68, hospital equipment and generators. The committee observed that the hospital maintained equipment and generators but did not recognize or disclose them in the financial statements. The cost of these items were unknown because they were either donated to or have been there since inception, and recommends that the management should ensure that the asset register updated and submitted to the FPAC for confirmation within 30 days from the adoption of this report. Disposal of assets. Committee observed that most of the assets acquired from 2010 to 2014 were scrapped and some were disposed of by the disposal committee. However, there was no documentary evidence to confirm these disposals during the years under review. And the committee recommends that the management should provide proof that some of these scrap assets were disposed of. The treatment of these disposals in the financial statement should be provided to FPAC for confirmation within 30 days from the adoption of the report. Page 70, Said Regional Eye Care Center. The Eye Care Center submitted its annual activity report and audited financial statement from as far back as the year ended 31st December 2006 to 2020. However, owing to the initial agreement to cut off the backlog from the 2019 onward, the presentation of the annual activity report and audited financial statements of the center covers the years ended 31st December 2019 to 2020. The GPPA did not present any procurement compliance report on the center. During the interface with the board and management of the center, the committee made the observations below. On the donation register, the committee noted that there was donation register in place. A sample of the donations received includes 2 vehicles, and the vehicles are indicated that amount to 19,000, 77,000, and then 2,217,250 in 2015, 2017, and 2019 respectively were also received. The committee recommends that the management should put in place donation register to record all donation received and submit it to the committee for verification within 30 days from the adoption of this report. Page 72, cash payment without deduction. Committee noted that an amount of 71,400 cash withdrawn was given to the CEO on his travel to Arusha, Tanzania, to buy 2 Westfield Pipola cutlery and for his incidental travel expense. The committee further noted that the payment was not supported by documentation like invoices and receipts. The details are shown in the table. And therefore recommends that the board take measures to recover the amounts as the 54,600 from the CEO within 30 days from the adoption of this report, and further recommends that the board take immediate measures to recover payments without supporting documents amounting to 1,549,504. Page 74.
Honorable, I think you will have to summarize because you almost going almost 1 hour now. And
Let me indicate the agencies, agency by agency.
Which page are you?
So I'm moving to the next. Now, local government councils. Page 82. Page 82. Page 82. You have that. Under the local government councils, the National Assembly resolution of 18 September 2023 directed all municipal and area councils to prepare credible financial statements for the years 2019 and 2020 by the end of October 2023, and for the years 2021 and 2022 by the end of December 2023, and submit them to the Auditor General for auditing. This has not been complied with by most councils. And Banjul City Councils, we received the activity reports and
Honorable, can you give me, somebody was talking in the mic. Who? What was the problem?
Thank you very much, Speaker. I wanted him to allow me to observe. Let's repeat. Yes, to observe him.
To observe what?
For the mover of the motion, for us to take this thing, and even the time that we are putting there, because if we put summarize, we will not get in much, because we just get in this supply today. So I'm just begging for us to allow him to get in.
When the honorable member was introducing it, he said these copies were given, and they are with you. You cannot allow him to, he cannot be reading everything, then there will be no contributions. You cannot read the whole thing. That's why you are giving copies for you to read and understand it. Can you continue, Honorable?
Banjul City Council presented its annual activity reports and audited financial statement for the years ended 4 December 2019 to 2020. During the interface with the board and management of BCC, the committee observed the following, and the observations are contained in the report. However, go to page 84, suppression of collection. The committee noted suppression of collections amounting to 195,120 in respect of delayed market tickets, sales, and monthly county rent. These were cash payments by revenue collectors to the main cashier who did not bank or pay the cash to the main officer. And the committee made the recommendation that the council must, through the office of the chief executive officer, take swift and effective steps to ensure that the amounts suppressed are recovered immediately. Page 85, conditions of the abattoir and stores. The committee noted that the two contracts in relation to the abattoir and stores, which cost nearly 2 million each, were significantly far from completion, and therefore recommend that the CEO and then the acting director of finance and director of planning must immediately refund the entire contract sum to the council and provide confirmation to FPAC within 30 days. Page 88. On repaid loans to non-staff, the committee noticed unpaid loans of 40,000 owed by two non-staff members to the tune of 20,000 each. The repayments were due to 2013 but have not been recovered, and the committee recommends the recovery of the said amount. Page 88, on repaid loans. The committee noted with concern that staff loans amounting to 136,429 were not repaid. Moreover, the committee also noted that these staff were no longer working with BCC, and no evidence was provided to ascertain that efforts were made to recover the loans detailed below and indicated in the table, and therefore recommends that effort must be made to recover the loans, including establishing communications with the debtors to find out how and when the debts can be recovered. Honorable Speaker, we move to the next council, and that is Basse Area Council. Basse Area Council, page 93. Basse Area Council presented its annual activity report and audited financial statement for the year ended 4 December 2019. During the interface with the board and management of the council, the committee observed the following, and they are entailed in the report. Honorable Speaker, we move to page 96, Carnifing Municipal Council. Carnifing Municipal Council presented its annual activity reports and audited financial statement for the years ended 31 December 2017 to 2021. During the interface with the board and management of the council, the committee observed the following, and they are entailed in the report. However, go to page 97, differences in ticket series. The committee noted that the conciliation of the CRBR against the collector's cash book revealed inconsistency with serial numbers. The GDR numbers indicated for the administration of the collection in the collector's cash book were different from those indicated in the CRBR as retirement for the same collection, and therefore recommends that the collection in question should be reviewed and corrected. The corrected records should be presented to FPAC for verification within 30 days. The committee further recommends that in future, the collectors must ensure that the collections are appropriately accounted for by including appropriate audit trails to facilitate proper accounting. In page 98, the GTRs not recorded in the CRBR committee noted reconciliation of sample of collectors' cash books against the CRBR by the auditors revealed that a couple of collectors have not administered GTRs issued to them for both issue and retirement. This means such collections were not administered to the CRBR at all, and committee therefore recommend that the management should ensure that all GTRs affected are recorded in the CRB and adjustments are presented to FPAC for verification within 30 days. The committee further recommends that the ensuring all GTRs administration passes through the CRBR must be instituted and monitored regularly in compliance. Received numbers not recorded on software printout. The committee also know that collections amounting to 60,000 by some collectors have not been posted to the accounts, and therefore recommends that amount in question should be reviewed by the management and adjusted accordingly. This correction should be presented to FPAC for review within 30 days. Page 102, outstanding balances, the shortage of Mbalit project. Page 102. The committee noted that an outstanding balance of 121,806 in respect of shortages of revenue of Mbalit by World Secretaries for the year 2021 was discovered. No investigation was conducted, but action was taken to recover the shortages from the World Secretaries. And the committee recommends that management must give update to FPAC on the recovery of these monies within 30 days from the adoption of this report, and that further recommends that the defaulter who remains must be reported to the police for investigation. On presented fraud allegation report, the committee noted that investigative report for the fraud allegation at the council was not presented to FPAC for review. The allegation include the following: a loan of 12 million secured for the purchase of a parcel of land for the council senior management, an alleged forgery of a letter caption guarantee purchase of land advance agreement purportedly written by the council, and solicitation and receipt of bribe of 30,000. And therefore, the committee recommends that the management should present official investigative report to FPAC within 30 days from the adoption of the said report, of this report rather. On page 107, on presented auction report, the committee noted two council's meeting minutes dated 26 June 2021 and the financial statement for the same year, auction sale of 600,500 for the year 2021. However, there was no evidence to prove that the auction was carried out as required by the Financial Accounting Manual for local government authorities. And under the committee recommends that the management should ensure that all documentary evidence are provided to FPAC within 30 days from the adoption of this report to confirm that the auction was carried out in line with the aforesaid manual. Can we move to Cherwan Area Council? 110. Cherwan Area Council presented its annual activity report, audited financial statement for the years ended 1st December 2020 and 2021, with no GPPA procurement compliance report for consideration by FPAC. And then the observations and the recommendations are entailed in the report. Go to page 112. Understatement of revenue collectors' cash book. The committee noted an understatement of 97,000 in respect of market collections shown in the table, and therefore recommended that the management should ensure that these understatements are recovered from the officer concerned within 30 days from the adoption of this report. Failure of which the matter should be reported to the police for investigation. Can we move to page 118, Kuntau Area Council? Kuntau Area Council presented its annual activity report. Audited page 118. Audited financial statement for the year ended 4 December 2020. During the interface with the board and management of the council, the committee observed some key lapses in complete financial statements. The committee discovered that 2020 financial statement was incomplete. There was no balance sheet, and the revenue and expenditure statement did not include note numbering, and therefore recommends that the management should ensure that the 2020 financial statement is completed with the relevant statements and notes. Page 119, payments without payment voucher. Committee noted that there was payment of salaries without payment vouchers as required by the Financial Regulation 2016, and therefore recommended that the management must ensure that payment vouchers are raised for all payments made by the council. No payment of withholding tax. The committee noted that withholding tax of 50,000 was not paid to the Gambia Revenue Authority. This was in respect to tax withheld from a contract awarded to a particular company, Singandin Company Limited. And the committee therefore recommends that the council should establish all withheld tax and pay them to GRA as required by the Act within 30 days. Page 121, fuel allocation without authority. The committee found that the council allocated fuel of 500 liters and 200 liters to the chief executive officer and chairman and directors of finance and planning respectively without evidence of authority. And therefore the committee recommends that the authority for the allocation of fuel should be provided to the FPAC for confirmation within 30 days from the adoption of this report. Fuel issued to non-council vehicles. The committee noted with concern that council issued fuel to non-council vehicles. Moreover, no reasonable basis was given for how such activities relate to council, and therefore the committee recommended the management to provide to FPAC reasons for fueling non-council vehicles or provide evidence of authority. Failure to do so, the CEO must refund the council the total amount of the money involved. Page 122, Mansakongo Area Council. Mansakongo Area Council did not present any credible financial statements to FPAC for scrutiny. The 2019 management letter of the National Audit Office was based on an audit of the transactions of the council for the financial year. The GBBA also did not present a procurement compliance review on the council for the said period. The 2019 annual activity reports and audited financial statements of the council were adopted with reservations. And therefore, the accounts of the Mansakongo Area Council for 2020 were manually done. Therefore, no report was generated on them. The 2021 financial statement of the council were generated but not submitted to the National Audit Office for audit. During the review of the management letter for the year ended 31st December 2019, the committee made observations regarding some key issues, and the issues are entailed in the report. Let's go to page 124, unpresented documents. The following documents were requested by auditors for inspection, but none was presented. Disaster record, operational plan, budget, quarterly revenue and expenditure report, bank statement and bank reconciliation statement, fuel register, training policy, database of procurement made for the period under review, and procurement plans for the period under review. Therefore, the committee recommended that the management should provide these documents to FPAC for review within 30 days from the adoption of this report. Failure to provide this document, the committee recommends further recommends that the immediate action must be taken to ensure that they are prepared. Segregation of duties over payments, processed and authorized by the CEO. The committee noted that several payments were made with authorization of only the CEO, and therefore recommends that the payment in question must be duly regularized and presented to FPAC for verification. Committee further advises the Director of Finance to channel all payments via appropriate stages of the authorization and approval. Honorable Speaker, let's go to page 127, Chapter 6, General Recommendation. The Final and Public Accounts Committee hereby resolves as follows. The judiciary should prepare the accounts and submit them to the National Assembly with effect from the year ended 31st December 2023. That documents to be provided to the auditors when requested. Digitalization of the revenue and non-tax collection to be done, and that the Accountant General Department to provide the committee with the IT policy and the level of implementation status of the audit recommendation on ICT. That the Minister of Health, in consultation with Finance and Accountant General, to develop a financial manual that will be used by all subvented institutions. That the PMO, in consultation with a relevant institution, to develop a service rule that can be used by the agencies and subvented institutions. For the President to review some of the chairpersons of the governing boards, council of agencies, hereby the Vice President, ministers to be reviewed for reconsideration. That all ministers must work with their subvented institutions under them to ensure their budgets are captured accordingly. FPAC Health Committee, Ministry of Health, Finance, and Accountant General to look into budgetary allocation of all the hospitals and their subvented institutions. An interface between the committee and Ministry of Finance to review the Public Finance Act. All hospitals to ensure that their accounts are done by competent personnel. That the PS Ministry of Health, in consultation with the PMO, to come up with appropriate allowance for all hospitals and healthcare workers. That an administrator should not serve as consultant in the hospital. All hospital administrators should have the required qualification. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Finance, to impose sanctions on accounting officers or board controllers that fail to adhere to provisions of financial regulations. Management must ensure that control mechanisms are put in place to regularly monitor the revenue collections, processes, and procedures in order to mitigate against financial irregularities. The modalities of the surcharge by the Auditor General should be incorporated in the amendments to the National Audit Act. The warrant of expenditure must be signed by the Auditor General as opposed to the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs. The Board of Directors and management of the public institutions must take management responses to audit queries very seriously, since they are jointly accountable for. Local government councils must collectively adopt sound accounting bases and policies in consultation with the National Audit Office. Abattoir stores and projects of Banjul City Council must be investigated by the police. Any unbudgeted expenditure by any council must be immediately paid back or refunded to the council by the Chief Executive Officer of the council. All payment vouchers raised at the council must be verified by the Internal Audit Department before they are forwarded to the CEO for payment. Withholding tax from all contracts and procurements of the council must be deducted and paid to Gambia Revenue Authority. The minutes of all meetings at the council, whether general council or committees, must be recorded and filed accordingly. The entire IT system of councils must be backed up in properly maintained server rooms. The financial accounting manual of local government councils must be updated to cater for accruals accounting treatments. The residential and commercial properties in all the councils should be revalued to reflect current market values. Councils must avoid unplanned or unbudgeted expenditure by making sure all expenses are budgeted for or approved by the General Council in the case of unforeseen situations. Councils must endeavor to keep their fixed assets register up to date, all the required information at all times. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, in discharge of this constitutional mandate under sections 102, 109, and 160 of the 1997 Constitution, the Finance and Public Accounts Committee, FPAC, has meticulously scrutinized the Auditor General's report on the audited finance on the audited accounts of the government of the Gambia for the year ended 4th December 2020, together with the annual activity reports and audited financial statements of public agencies, institutions, hospitals, and local government councils for the period 2019 to 2021. The committee's findings reveal widespread and persistent weaknesses in public financial management across entities in review. These include chronic non-compliance with the Public Finance Act, the GPPA Act, and other financial governance instruments, misuse of public funds, including contingency fund, unauthorized payments, poor record keeping, delayed financial reporting, weak revenue collection and accountability frameworks, inadequate monitoring of public investment, and serious internal control lapses, particularly within local government council and certain public institutions. Whilst noting marginal improvement in specific areas, the committee is gravely concerned that the recurrence and magnitude of these financial irregularities continue to undermine transparency, accountability, and prudent management of public resources. Accordingly, the committee calls on executive, particularly the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, the Accountant General's Department, and all public institutions to act with urgency in implementing the recommendations contained in this report. This includes strengthening internal controls, ensuring strict adherence to financial regulations, improving timelines in financial reporting, and holding accountable those officers and institutions whose actions or inactions have breached financial governance standards, including, where appropriate, administrative, civil, or criminal sanctions. The committee further underscores the need for stronger coordination and collaboration with the National Audit Office, the CEO, the COE Commission, the SOE Commission rather, and other oversight institutions to reinforce financial discipline and good governance across the public sector. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, the FPAC respectively recommends that this Honorable Assembly adopt this report in its entirety and calls upon all stakeholders, without exception, to demonstrate renewed commitment to the highest standards of transparency, accountability, and financial stewardship in the supreme interest of national development and welfare of the Gambian people. On that note, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, motion. Honorable Speaker, motion.
On it.
I want a second, and then
You want to?
second, I move a motion as well.
All right, you can second the motion.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I second the motion. However, to also move a motion, knowing the time allotted for this on our other paper, at least each member be given 3 minutes for debate so that everybody can have a chance to contribute to debate. So, time allotted by the other paper is 1 hour 30 minutes. And already the member has...
Honorable.
Yes?
Honorable member.
Yes?
Just hold on, Honorable, please. Honorable member for Kantora and Majority Leader, can you start again, please?
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. In as much as the ABC has set and allocate time for this, that is 1 hour 30 minutes, I'm craving the indulgence of the Assembly to give at least each speaker 3 minutes
with the remaining time so that at least many could really have a bite on the report. So I move a motion that we limit debate 3 minutes per member. You cannot undo the time here. It has been decided at ABC.
Honorable Speaker, I need clarification. Clarification, Honorable Speaker. Yes, Honorable Speaker, I need to get clarification whether the 1 hour 30 minutes is meant from the beginning of the presentation of the report to also include the debate on the report. Because this report presentation almost took like an hour plus. So, can you guide us? Yes.
Honorable, all the time we have all been here. The time limit is both for presentation and debate. That is clear to every member. Now, what happened was, I think the honorable, the honorable chairman took the time. 1 hour plus of it. It's not needed. You see, all the reports you are presenting here, you are doing it in 1 hour. And you are doing it and debating it. You know, when you are giving a report, I told you here, members, if you feel you don't have time to read your report, the report given, or is given on the spot, you still have the right to say we defy it until we read through it. You have that right. I've made that very clear. But you don't expect people to read your report for you. They'll just give you a preview of what is contained there. You are supposed to read it and then come out and prepare yourself. It's not for you to come and listen to every bit of it in the canvas. That's not the purpose of the report. So, honorable members, let's get that very clear. Reports are not meant to be read to you, for you to understand it and then debate. If you have not received your reports and you feel you are not prepared enough, you still have a right for us to reschedule it or to be given time to debate it. That's one. Two, when you are tabling your reports, preferably, when you have your report, you also have a summary of your report that you are going to present. So in presenting your report, you just take the summary and then present it, and then members have the report, they will go through it and then to debate. So, honorable member, you are saying, honorable member for Kantora, your proposal is?
I am saying if members want to debate with the time constraint and allotted by the ABC, let's give 3 minutes. Or otherwise, we defer this report the next day to be retabled and debate. I didn't say I'm just giving an option. My first motion was 3 minutes per member to debate.
Can I observe?
But also to broaden the discussion, there is an option of deferral of this report and allow it to come back at an appropriate time.
Honorable members.
Yes.
Honorable members. One thing is clear. Honorable members. Honorable members. Hey, who is talking at the back there? We better send you back to the Bantaba district. Honorable members. One thing we get it clear. We don't have time to reschedule this debate for this session. For this session, it may not be possible. For the next session, yes. That is, if you feel you don't have enough time to debate it. Two, what the honorable member, the motion he's suggesting, is that we give members 3 minutes at most. That's what you said. But what we are saying here is that has to get a limit.
Clarification, Honorable Speaker.
Huh? Anyone, we look at, let's assume that he spent only 1 hour now. So we are going to take at least 10 members, 3 minutes, the remaining 30 minutes to debate.
You would say, for instance, that we take another extra 30 minutes.
Yes.
That will be given to members with each about 3 minutes.
Yes.
All right.
So I move a motion for...
Somebody was talking. Have you moved the motion?
I move a motion for 3 minutes per member. For next 30 minutes.
We have had that motion that we extend the time frame for each member, time frame to extra 30 minutes, and each member entitled to almost 3 minutes. Any seconder to that motion?
I rise to second the motion.
Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that we extend the time from now by extra 30 minutes, and members, each member will be given at most 3 minutes. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. I will now call on for somebody to second the, sorry. Honorable Member for Kantora. Honorable Member for Kantora, you want to second the motion?
I already seconded the motion prior before moving the motion. Yes.
It has been seconded. Okay. I was not aware. Somebody is talking. Okay, honorable members, I now put the question. It has been moved and seconded that this honorable assembly do consider the report of the FPAC on the 2020 accounts of the government of the Gambia and other public institutions. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Okay, honorable members. I now invite the honorable member for Kiang West.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. It is quite unfortunate that we wouldn't have an opportunity to get into specifics of this report and highlight them. But to be fair enough, let me thank you, FPAC. I cannot name each of you singly and your committee clerks and your support staff. You have done what you're supposed to do. And National Assembly, citizens of this country has empowered us, giving us the rights and also protect us in the Constitution. Not only protect us, but extended our powers to an extent of our voice being as powerful as the decision of the High Court. Finally, when Finance and Public Accounts Committee laid their reports here, serious financial malpractice will be highlighted. This parliament looks like a toothless bulldog. Honorable Speaker, our budget session makes no sense. We don't need to come here and sit over national budget. It makes no sense. If it makes sense, let somebody prove that to me. We will approve budgets here, and at the end of the day, minister has the power to vary the budget anyhow he likes, without any due consideration to the law. It is highlighted in the report here, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, page 9, 3.2.8, non-environment notification. It is highlighted in the report that 30 million plus was wired without notifying the budget entities before or after by the Honorable Minister for Finance. Honorable Speaker and honorable members of parliament, failure to approve payments of 246,223,000 was wired without evidence of approval by the honorable minister. These are some of the things that is happening. I'm not trying to vindicate the president, but he constituted the commission of the councils, and it is proven that what it's revealing at the commission is what exactly prevails there. It's what exactly prevails there. It is unfortunate that we are given only 3 minutes to debate on this important issue. I'm not happy at all. I swear, I am not.
Honorable member for Kiang West. Honorable, who gave you 3 minutes? You make statements and exonerate yourself. Parliament, including you, gave yourself 3 minutes. Nobody gave you 3 minutes. Please. Honorable, I now invite the honorable member for Sabak Sanjal.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I want to join my colleagues to thank FPAC for the report table before us. Honorable Speaker, I think sometimes we need to look at things at a broader perspective. We have the Constitution that allows the National Assembly to make laws. And the National Assembly of the Gambia have made a law which is called the Public Financial Act. In that act, once it is an act, then it becomes a law. It gives powers to the state minister to do environment. So it is legal. There is no illegality in whatever he must have done. What we should say now is there are serious financial misappropriations highlighted in the report, and the recommendations highlighted by the FPAC is very key and very important. And I think what we should be doing as National Assembly, since FPAC is requesting that the various institutions should report back to them within a period of 30 days, we should now task FPAC to also report back to us, having received those reports, so that we can know whether the recommendations have been implemented or not. I think that is very key, because I've seen payment vouchers of $7 million being paid without vouchers. $7 million under Kanifing Area Council. This is a very serious thing, you know, and we need to look at them. These are very serious issues that we need to look at. There are deletions of rate transactions of 297,000. These are monies that, you know, our women who wake up 4 o'clock in the morning to go and pay these rates, at the end of the day, they are put in pockets of individuals. FPAC is telling us that they have done their investigation and this is what they have realized. And they have come up with recommendations. We are now tasking FPAC that you have recommended that within a period of 30 days, some of these people or some of these institutions should report back to you. Please, let's task FPAC that they should also report back to us so that we understand the status of implementation. That being the case, Honorable Speaker, I submit my submission.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Sabak Sanjal. I now invite the Honorable Member for Brikama South.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I equally want to thank the FPAC team for a very comprehensive report with strategic recommendations. So I want to thank you for a job well done, the entire team, that includes the support staff and even the technicians. Honorable Speaker, I think this is a very important report, which we have to look at critically. Because if you want to look at departments and agencies to live up to expectation, I believe the government need to live up to expectation. And the content of this report, we have serious malpractices and misappropriation that is contained. Without wasting much time, I want to look at some of the findings that are contained in this. Starting with page 7, that is the Auditor General report. If you look at it, the first finding, that is misstatement in the notes of the financial statements, there are differences that are in the table below. This table contains about 1.2 billion, 88 million, 135 million, 1 million, as follows. And if you look at the recommendations, the recommendation of FPA, the committee recommends that all these differences should be reconciled in 2021 accounts of the government of the Gambia. In fact, I believe that the recommendation should go further. Failure of which, what should be done? The differences are just too much if you can improve upon that. So coming together, you have unallocated warrants of funds. Underneath, okay, you also go to the issue of the unallocated warrant of funds. So if you look at the recommendation also, I believe that there should be a timeline attached to this, as most of the recommendations have timeline, especially in terms of reporting to FPAC. 30 days have been all unilaterally given. But this one is up. The committee recommends that the Accountant General should work with the Budget Directorate of the Ministry of Finance to investigate and resolve these differences. But there is no timeline. How long are they going to continue investigating? So the same, but generally I look at this. This report has about almost 2017, 2018, especially when it comes to IEC. But if you go to the general recommendation, what is lacking? If you look at the bad luck, how do we bridge the disparity? You are dealing with 2017, 2018, 2019, maximum of 2020, and we're in 2025. So they don't correspond of what is happening today. How I am.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Bikama South. I now invite the Honorable Member for Banjul Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I would like to, hence there's no time, I would like to first of all thank the FPAC committee for presenting us a very, very, very detailed, holistic report of financial dealings of public institutions, but also local councils. I think we couldn't come up with a better document than this. Though it's rather unfortunate that time is against us, we couldn't really delve into the details of it. We will just talk on the general metrics of it. Speaker, I think we will all agree that we really have a systematic weakness overall in this country. Our public finance management system is in disarray, and I think everyone here in this chamber will agree to that. Imagine $246 million in environments that are unapproved environments. That's why when the Honorable Member for Sabah Sajal was speaking, I think he didn't have time to delve into the document thoroughly, because Section 29 of the Public Finance Act delves deep into environments and how they are done. And specifically, Section 3 of it, it says that environment should be approved. Environment should be approved. And here it's saying $246 million is in unapproved environments, meaning that it's against the Public Finance Act, just for rectification. Honorable Speaker, when it comes to the recommendation aspect of things, I think this our main problem in Parliament. We will make recommendations and it will just gather dust. I think it's high time, I've been saying it here time and time again, we really should be making our resolutions very legally binding. They should be binding and robust, and we should make sure that we make proper follow-ups when it comes to these things. I'm yet to see National Assembly following up on anything that has not been done, and there are consequences coming out of it. I hardly, since being here in Parliament, maybe those that have been here before us might help us out, but I'm yet to see any repercussions derived from some of these recommendations that we put down here in Parliament. We are losing billions of dollars, Honorable Speaker, and it's also high time that we also look into our whistleblower mechanisms. When someone sees any financial misconduct in some of these agencies or public institutions, to give them that space to be able to, make it known, so that at least it will yield dividend for us, Honorable Speaker. So when it comes to when it comes to our public assets, Honorable Speaker, also, I think we need to look at the valuation process, because most of our public assets are undocumented. Some are not valuated to know their proper worth. These are all things that are really hampering our progress as a country. And also, Honorable Speaker, just to close, I think we need to make a sectoral constitution commission, multi-sectoral constitution.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Banjul Central. I now invite the Honorable Member for Janjambure.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much to the FPAC committee and its support staff. For me, where I want to start with is we really need to look into our reports considering the timelines, because if we're looking at 2020 government financial report, for me, we're really at the back. So as such, I think it will be important to really reduce the load on FPAC by, separating the responsibility on them, having a committee that will be responsible for revenue and also another committee on expenditure. I believe that will help us to, expedite their work and also do accountability as expected. Honorable Speaker, there is one thing that I came across in the report, that is having public officials doing counterfeit in their institutions. And this is clearly stated in this report if you look at page 99, looking at what KMC is doing. Also, the GTR has not been recorded by some of these councils. And you can see some of these things being revealed at the commission as we speak. So for me, the committee really need to take a very, very firm resolution in ensuring that these things are addressed, because the local governments are very, very important to our daily lives, more especially to our community. So as such, some of these things need to be addressed. Also, looking at the general recommendations, it talks about the digitalization of revenue and non-tax collections to be done. I think this process also needs to be expedited, and in your recommendations, we really need to give it a timeline to ensure that government revenues are digitalized, or otherwise it will just be a waste on us. Also, the judiciary. I think a lot of malpractices have been happening at the judiciary. And as such, we really need to have mechanisms to actually ensure that these things wouldn't reoccur again, because this is an institution that Gambians have so much trust in. And if they are also playing around with our resources, then we are not still secured. Ministry of Health, a lot is been, no, the general recommendation, check on it. Also on the Ministry of Health, if you look at Buyam, you look at Bansang, you look at Farafenye, you look at Kanifing General Hospital, for me, a lot is happening around those institutions, and they also need to be regulated.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Janjambure. I now invite the Honorable Member for Lower Flood West.
Thank you very much. I join my colleagues to thank FPAC. From the report, we have seen weaknesses, non-compliance, misuse of public funds, unauthorized environment, poor recording, inadequate monitoring, and also we have seen that the local councils, they are doing as they wish to do. Sadly, I've seen a land by the BCC that was leased for 2 million in the pretext to be sold for 15 million. I believe by now the IDP or other people should initiate arrest the CEO of Banjul City Council. Because even the local council have highlighted, and again, in the report, you can see what is happening there. So arrest should be done. People should start paying the price. And in fact, looking at the report, if you go to page 101, deletion of rate transaction, that's fraud. That's fraud. And these are things that In fact, I believe some of the people understand that I'm coming on a matter of the resolution that we are taking in Parliament. People need to be arrested and they need to pay the prices that they are doing. And look at, sadly, a whole council is not producing a credible report, a whole council. And you see people say taxpayers' money, taxpayers' money. We know that our women, our ladies, every day they've been collecting money from them, all for us to sit down and make sure that those people's money are not put into use. And you think this is acceptable? And then the government must bear the responsibility. And us as the National Assembly, because if the IGP is here today, I expect some people to be arrested now. From here, let them be arrested. They go to remand until they prove what is there. We have to be a serious government. We have to be a serious people. People cannot be sitting down doing whatsoever, because in this arena today, how can you say poor record keeping? How can you say fraud? And on this arena of today where we are, and we want to be moving with it, you make it on a daylight. I saw it on the headline. How can you be robbing people? You buy a land, lease it, and you want to sell it for 15 million? You are making business on people, and you expect to be living free to go? We cannot accept that. And also, going back to the recommendation, this recommendation that we have, I think my colleagues have them. It's not about recommendation, it's about acting on recommendation. This recommendation, people need to act. It's action that we need. And the action is, if I were
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Lower Flood West. I now invite the Honorable Member for Upper Flood West.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Hence, time is not on my side. First of all, I think I would like to thank the chairman of FPAC and his team for the good work that they have done. And I think this is a clear testimony that what is happening within our public institutions in this country, every Gambian who is following the proceedings today at the National Assembly, you will come to realize that, cankerworm, corruption is a cankerworm in this country, especially in the public institution. And this is a clear testimony that what is happening in some of these public institutions is very, very sad. Honorable Speaker, with all the recommendations that is encapsulated in this report, I think we have a long way to fight corruption. And then fighting corruption should be everyone's business. We all have a role to play. And then going through this report, for me, I am totally disappointed and dumbfounded, because I think the committee, they have done a lot. They touches a lot of issues on this report, from public institutions and agencies to IEC, GAIPA, NANA, public health facilities, and etc. So basically, these are some of the areas that they have touched as far as this report is concerned. Honorable Speaker, let's go to page 96. Like if you go to KMC, page 96, sample payment vouchers not presented. Like if you go to page 96, which tells you the committee noted that several payment vouchers amounting to 7,677,470 and 61 budus have not been found within the vouchers submitted for audit report. So this is a massive amount of money. And then not only KMC, is in fact all the councils. And then taxpayers' monies are not utilized, are not put into good use. And then I always tell people one thing. Justice is in two ways. If you escape from human justice, you will not escape from divine justice. If you steal people's money, what belongs to people, you don't put it into good use. If you escape from this world, the world hereafter, you are not going to escape. God is going to account for you, anything that you steal from people. So, Honorable Speaker, if you also go to these health facilities also, the same thing, Bansang Hospital, Biam, all the hospitals is the same. So, like for me, hence time is not on my side. What I just want to emphasize that according to Honorable Member for Banjul, digitalization of revenue
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Upper Fladu West. I now invite the Honorable Member for Joshua.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much to FPAC and the team. Honorable Speaker, let me start with the table of content. When you look at the table of content, it's like many institutions are listed here, but if you look at here, there is nobody here. We're just talking, and the one that we are referring to, none of them are here. So my question was, did the clerk made the required recommendation to ask them to come here? Because what we are talking here is about quite an allegation per se. They should have been here to listen to what we are saying and then take note of what we are doing. But we are only talking on our own. I saw it, Accountant General, they were here, but they are gone. So there's nobody around. Honorable Speaker, I think we have to be very serious with things and then look at the recommendations that are given here. There are many, and then the time allocated is very small. Let me go to page 8, that's environment to create new posts. It refers me to somewhere when it comes to when we are doing our budgets. We have environment creating new posts. Do we normally come across when we are budgeting? It's a question. No. You see cancellation of checks, and at the end of the day, they were cast. Based on this recommendation, checks were cancelled, and when you go further on page 9, they were cast. So how were they cast? That was cancelled in the ISMIS, and then at the end of the day, if you go to bank account, they were cast. So I think, Honorable Speaker, we have to be very, very serious. You cancel a check, it was mentioned as cancelled, and down there it was cast. How were they cast when they were cancelled? Honorable Speaker, if you go to page 122, where we have seen local government coming to FPAC without no financial statement, they are not even prepared, they only come and sit in front of experts and be looking at them. What were they doing during all these past years? I think, Honorable Speaker, we need to be very serious as a parliament. And the other thing also, which we have to look at also very seriously, here we are referring to 2021, and we are giving our recommendations. From 2021 to date, are there any adjustment being done or not? We need to know, are there any adjustment being done or not? If at all these recommendations are given and sent for further investigation, and it comes to be zero. If you go to BGC, there are staffs who are given loan, they are no more employed, some of them are nowhere to be seen. How can those staff be traced? I think we have to be very serious as a government, we have to be very serious as a parliament to do the proper follow-up and to do the needful. But not always coming here with recommendations when they are given, as some of my colleagues have mentioned, there's no proper follow-up. You give it to the police do their investigation, and next minute they are waiting for justice to advise. Advise till when? After our time, the next time comes, and they are still waiting for the same advice. Let's look at the way forward as parliamentarians. We make laws. Let's create laws that can be there.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Joshua. I now invite the Honorable nominated member, Keba Lamfofana.
Honorable Chair, I withdraw. My tag was never up. This is my report. It should be Honorable Famata Jawara. Yes,
No.
Thank you.
Ala jibe ni ma ka akitin ten Canada. Didem stop. Honorable, I now call upon the Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Thank you. I stand by the existing protocol. Honorable Speaker, this report has revealed the highest amount of corruption in this country, both at the central and the local government council. I'm so much disappointed. I'm so much disappointed the manner and the way our councils are managing the taxpayers' money. This is alarming, and actions must be taken. Somebody made mention of environment. We know that environment are accepted, but what the report reveals, that kind of environment is fraud. is mismanagement, that doesn't tell well. Nobody should support it because they are missing funds at the tune of 75 million or more. You think that this is a joke? This report, we need action now. It doesn't come with a resolution. And it should have a resolution. We either give time to the committee to develop a strong resolution, let the perpetrators be brought before the book. We cannot allow taxpayers' money to be missing like this. The institutions, they don't have credible financial statement, no sufficient documents to the auditors. This is a great economic loss to the Gambian people. So this tells us that the country, we are not poor. We have thieves within us, both at the councils, at the government level, at the central government level. So action must be taken. This report also has some institutional weaknesses. It has seen misuse of funds, violation of financial rules. Honorable Speaker, cancellation of checks and those checks been withdrawn. So we just make this only simple recommendations. It's pure recommendation. As another person said, IGP must act now to arrest and let them be bailed. Then we see what we can do. Honorable Speaker, this is a serious betrayal of trust. The councils were elected by the people. We expected that they serve for the purpose. But what we see is enriching themselves, violating the rules. Some are, in fact, without financial disciplines in their institutions. I rest my case. But we need to develop a resolution at the end of the day.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Central Badibu. I now invite the Honorable nominated member, Fatou K. Jawara.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. And I must commend the members of the FPAC through the chairperson of the committee for doing justice to the report. Honorable Speaker, I begin my intervention on page 102. And if you permit, I may read, Honorable Speaker, under Kanifing Municipal Council, the unprecedented fraud allegation report. Honorable Speaker, the committee noted that the investigation report of the fraud allegation at the council was not presented to FPAC for review. The allegation include the following: a loan of 12 million, secured for the purpose of a parcel of land for the council senior management, alleged forgery of a letter caption guarantee purchase of land, advance agreement purportedly written by the council, solicitation and receipt of a bribe of 30,000, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this one is all over and has raised an eyebrow. What is denying or stopping the council for giving you this report, Honorable Speaker? Honorable Speaker, I believe what Honorable Member for Upper Fuladu says, and I think someone else also highlighted it, I think we should now move from commitment to action. This parliament have been doing a lot of justice to reports. I think even the 30 days recommendation that they are giving is too much. They should have been given 1 week or less. Anybody who is found wanting should face the full force of the law. Gambians has gone through a lot. Our own mothers, our electorates, poor women in the street cannot be paying their tax to the council, and the authorities continue to enjoy, and these vulnerable women continue to suffer. It's unacceptable. Honorable Speaker, going through the report again, still on the Kanifing General Hospital, on page 103, column 6128, areas of rates. Honorable Speaker. 103. Areas of rate, Honorable Speaker, which also is amounting to 2,042,450,956 and another amount of 2,053,404,553.58 butut for the year 2020, 2021, respectively. These were in respect of residential and commercial rates. Honorable Speaker,
Thank you very much, Honorable Nominated Member Fatou K. Jawara. I now invite the Honorable Member for Old
Speaker, I am withdrawing. I didn't know raise my hand. I'm giving it to majority.
I now invite the Honorable Member for Nyamina West.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I join my friends to thank the committee on, or my colleagues, yes, they are my friends too, Kevin, to thank this committee, that's FPAC, for a well-presented report, very neat, and I recommend that all other committees to emulate them. I like the cover, but please let the Parliament make all other reports in this form or in this way. Coming to the report, I will just want to refer us to the conclusion, where just a paragraph where I have everything that I want to discuss, where it's second paragraph, where you can see weakness. It presents weakness of the public financial institutions, the management across the entire review. You can also see where it says financial frauds, unauthorized environments, poor records, and so on and so forth. That paragraph, weak institutions. So I'm very much disappointed myself. I joined my fellow Honorable Central Badi on his presentation. And I think the central government, especially through the Ministry of Finance, should be a role model to live to expectation and put their house in order before you can put others in order. This will bring me to the environment. I'm not saying that the public finance, how to call it, act is not supporting environments, but the manner and the way you do it. And we've seen a lot of environments that are not approved by the minister himself. So are you telling me now the PS or a director can approve environments? If that is the case, I blame committee chairmen. I wish I was a committee chair. Now this is on your hands. We are not just here to be talking loud. And that the one who speaks here louder is the most recommended or most hardworking. It does not just stop there. Committee chairmen are put there to do a task for the government, for the Gambian people. You are not just there to be benefiting as a committee chair. So the committee chair, it's up to you and the members of the committee to take this in both hands to make sure things are fixed in this country. The findings are already there. Why investigations again? To the councils, the same thing. Poor records keeping, receipts not matching the order. Why this all? Why are we entertaining it? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Nyamina West. I now invite the Honorable Member for Sami.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Thank you, FPAC, for a good work that is before of us. Honorable Speaker, we are looking at the 2020 audited account of governments of the Gambia, the annual activity reports and audited financial statement of public agencies, hospitals, and local government councils. Honorable Speaker, when we go through the report, we all know that so many malpractices happen in this very country that we are. And we are the very person who allocated these resources to these institutions. But Honorable Speaker, what I want to say, the FPAC is overloaded. It's overloaded. During the 5th legislature, all these committees, they look at their financial accounts and other statements. So if we give everything to FPAC to say that yes, because they are the one responsible for finance, and we are just looking at 2020, we don't know what is happening 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. And time is going. And what is here in 2020, we don't know whether those things are changed or not. So, Honorable Speaker, if you look at the recommendations, I just look at general recommendation number 12, where the PS state, can I read it? The PS, Ministry of Health, in consultation with PMO, to come up with an appropriate allowances for all hospitals and healthcare workers. Honorable Speaker, even if we look at the president's statement last, he talks about the shortage of nurses. Why? I think there should be variation, Honorable Speaker, on this. Those who are ready to go to hard-to-reach areas, those nurses and doctors should be given more incentives than those who are in the urban area, those who are in the rural urban areas. If we want those people also to enjoy the health, these things.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Sami. I now invite the Honorable Member for Jara West. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let me also use this opportunity to thank the FPAC committee, to the chairman and all the committee members. Honorable Speaker, by reading this report, you feel very sad, both at the central government level and at the local councils. We have money in this country that can manage and give us basic needs. There is money that can sustain the population we have in the Gambia. But you see people taking public money as their own money in their family compounds. They spend it anyhow they want. Honorable Speaker, something needs to be done with this. Something needs to be done. We cannot let these things to go this way. People should be put. I think FPAC now, you need some people to sit there whenever you are ready. If people have found one thing, let them be taken away from there. In that committee, this is not telling well at all. This is very, very sad. By going over this report, you will know that we have money that can give us our basic needs. Look at some on confirmed compensation to former abandoned victims. You are supposed to compensate some people. You don't give their names. You don't give their numbers. You cannot identify them, and you said they are compensated. That is very serious. People who are crying now, you give them more. You don't know whether this money are even reached to them. It's a question whether the money are even reached to them. Huh? Unjustified single source procurement. You have laws that you should follow. You deliberately, blindly, you don't want to follow those laws. You should be found wanting. Huh? Detach receipts from the book. You detach receipts. You detach them. Huh? No, this is sad. It's very, very sad. Payment vouchers, not found. Close to 7 million some dollars. And people are left, you go home, drive your car, and you go and sleep. With 7 million in your pocket, which is not accounted for. Ticket serials is not matched with what you submitted. Honorable Speaker, it's very sad by reading this report. You can see that we have individuals who are really making this country to suffer. Huh? You are paid your salary. Whenever adjustment is made, adjustment is given to you. You still want to get. Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Jara West. I now invite the Honorable Member for Basse.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Speaker, I just want to dwell on the councils. First, I have to thank the committee for doing the laudable job in order to assess all documents and come with recommendations. As well on the council's recommendation 15, management must ensure that control mechanisms are put in place to regulate, monitor, and revenue collectors processes and procedures in order to mitigate against financial. This is a question to the committee, because I cannot understand which management are you referring here. Because this management is the same team, if at all is the council management, they are the base of the corruption, because they are the one employing their families or their close allies into positions where they think the revenues are coming from. So how are they going to control the incomes? And these books, it has been happening in councils for decades. Some books are not even accounted for. You see people printing their own books, giving it out. And the most sad thing is, you go to the markets, if you can only account for revenues which have been collected or which have been presented. But some of the revenues which are collected from the markets, they spend them directly. They are not even entered into their books. So I think for councils, I don't know whether they are an island or they are a kingdom of their own, but I think something must be done on councils. Honorable Speaker, and I think our Auditor General also, I think we should also look into it, because audit reports have been coming here several times where you have so many queries. Why can the Auditor General take up a resolution, a unified resolution, whereby all institutions should be supplied staff recommended from the Auditor General, so that at least they can help them in order to do the proper accounting procedures. But again, if I am the CEO or I am the chairman, I go and appoint someone to be the auditor. My friend, when he see my request, he will not even worry. So I think the auditors will also step in to at least to provide audit.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Basse. I now invite the Honorable Member for Kantora.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, let me also thank the move of the motion, which is the chairman of the FPAC committee. Honorable Speaker, to be honest, this is really an eyesore. And I think measures have to be taken in terms of addressing this thing, because I'm seeing so much disturbing information as far as the book is concerned. Now, if you go to page 19, no approval by the permanent secretaries. These are impresses paid to personnel, amounting to $2.1 million, to individual staff. And if you also go to the hospitals, you can see the kind of corruption that is really in there. You've seen the payment of unapproved allowances to people amounting to thousands of dollars. And if you also go again, there are procurements that are made with unregistered companies. This is really, really unfair. You cannot really flout GPP regulation by going to purchase medicines to unregistered companies. These are really, really sad things to look at. And time is not really on our side, but I think the FPACs to really come out with strong resolutions to make sure that we set the ball rolling. Honorable Speaker, if you look at even KMC, low qualification of key position, how can you do nepotism, favoritism in the administration of affairs of the council you are entrusted with? how can you go and qualify incompetent people based on, political compensation or based on favoritism and nepotism? That's really not so faced in our councils. We cannot really put in square pegs in round holes. It shouldn't be accepted. And of course,
Sorry,
if you look at
majority, may I observe you?
If you look at, please, we have topic. Okay, observation.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, majority. I think you are deviating from the report because it is not stated in the report. Thank you very much.
Honorable Speaker, let me refer the member to the report. Probably he didn't go through the report and he didn't justice to the report. If you go to page 97, I refer you. Low qualification for key position holders. The committee noted with several positions were filled by candidates who appear to fall short of the basic establishment scheme. So basically, these are there. You are just trying to dilly-dally me, to waste my time. And counterfeit. How can a council staff do counterfeit? I mean, these are criminal. I expect the committee to say that we commence a criminal investigation against these staffs. Honorable Speaker, if you also go to deletion of transaction, this criminal in nature, how can it delete a legit transaction just in a way of building the system? And if you go to Mansakunga Council, how can they appear before the committee without giving you adequate, documentary evidence as far as council operations? He gave me.
Take my 3 minutes. Take it.
Honorable Speaker, Deputy ML gave me.
Take my time. Continue.
He gave me 3 minutes for me to continue.
Yes, it's my time.
Honorable.
My time.
Honorable member for Kantora and Majority Leader, I give you 1 extra minute.
Honorable Speaker, I refer you to page 102, unpresented fraud allegation report. On page 102, the committee noted about 12 million, a loan of 12 million, and also a forgery letter caption guarantee purchase of a land in advance. How can a council go in that level? By producing forgery documents, by bringing out forgery documents supporting a particular loan. So this has to be investigated forthwith by this committee. So, Chairman, I call upon you to really put very strong resolutions for us to make sure that taxpayers' monies are really collected. Undervaluation. This is criminal offense. How can you undervalue a property in return of getting a gain out of public office? Look at, I refer you to page 104 on the valuation of property. The committee noted that the council last valuation properties including commercial and retail areas. Another one also, they went to auction properties of council without giving documentary evidence of policy guiding the auctioning. How could you have done that? It's really unacceptable. You cannot go and auction council property, in respect to just making money out of people's pocket, and also bringing issue of undervaluation. This is a serious crime that the police may investigate forthwith. So I call on the chairman to put in those strong measures and hold this council to account. It's really business as usual. Heads must roll. So I call on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Kantora. Honorable members, I heard some of you whispering on the need when I gave him extra 1 minute. Yes, when I gave him extra 1 minute. He was interrupted. When he was speaking, he was interrupted. And I think the honorable member himself does not want to give him the chance to do it. But member said, no, leave him. And he sat down. And he was interrupted. That's why I gave him the extra minute. So, honorable members, I have tried to ensure that all those who had their names written are given chance. We have gone beyond your extended time to give everybody an opportunity. I will now call upon the mover of the motion to respond to issues raised.
One more.
on of...
Somebody is shouting. He wants to? No. Honorable minority, please. Please. No, Mike.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let me say that all the members who took the floor to respond to the report or note concerns all commended the committee as well as the assembly staff. I think, let me say that the commendation is not for FPAC. This is for the National Assembly of the Gambia. It means the 6th legislature is demonstrating defense as far as National Assembly of the Gambia is concerned. This is the second time the committee laid a strong report of this nature to this August Assembly. And to commend, I'm saying we should not commend FPAC, but let's commend ourselves. The committee comprised dedicated members who spared all their time, attend to committee business. You can see and attest to our commitment and dedication to work. That resulted to producing this very important report. On that, my committee members, I thank you all and I salute you all. Regarding issues that are highlighted, of course, that's what the committee can do. Bring forward issues that we feel are contrary to the law. And if they are proven beyond reasonable doubt, the penalty that should be taken are taken. And if we require further investigation by the relevant authority, that's what we recommended that to happen. But to give the benefit of the doubt, produce what are lacking. And if you can be able to do so within 30 days and do necessary explanation and clarification, then there will be no issue. If those are not met, are the ones that we are saying that will require further action to be taken. And those are what are listed in the report with timeline given. Somebody noted that there are instances where timelines are not given. We did our best. Where is to require timeline are given, they are given. But notwithstanding your observation, we'll still look at it. If that particular part required timeline, we'll make sure timeline is given. On that note, honorable members, since all the observations that were mentioned were exactly things that were highlighted in the report, and members were just trying to elucidate those points, then that means specific questions were not asked, but members were elucidating the points that were raised in the report. You want to observe?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, with your permission, Honorable Chair, there's one thing somebody highlighted earlier about the impact of our recommendations. And in fact, I can list a couple of them just to show that actually there's a big impact. Number one, about the unretired interest. Remember, on the last recommendations, we were dealing with more than 20-something million in unretired interest. But if you look at this one on the review, you are looking at interest under 2 million. That's an impact. Number two, it was here also we recommended that in each of the budget entities, the sovereign institution must be clearly shown in their budget. If you look at the budget right now for 2025, with the exception of MOPSI, all the supplementary issues actually are shown with the budget line of each one of them. That's also an impact done by the Assembly for all of us. Then also, if you look at the issue of the recommendation on the IFMIS to be connected all over the government institutions, that actually has been done right now. Even though there are some pushbacks, but the Accountant General's office actually is ensuring that all the councils are connected to the IFMIS, and that was the recommendation that we had made in here. That's also another impact. And I can move on. Now, the last one also, Honorable Chair, I just wanted to remind, is the issue of the audited accounts of the judiciary, which we made a recommendation here. They were not being audited because they were a part of the consolidated, but now they're doing their own for 2021, 2022, 2023. And that recommendation also came from here. So obviously, there's a big impact on the recommendation we made here. And lastly, by next session, we're going to bring you an update of the recommendations on the COVID and also on the retired impress. People have been charged now on their salaries. People's
Honorable, summarize. We just this thing. We have given you almost the whole day for your report.
Yes.
Please summarize.
So, okay, just in summary, and lastly also, just to say that people's salaries have been deducted because of the recommendation we made here on retired impress, particularly those in government. And you realize also that some folks that actually have retired, some of their benefits actually have been taken because of the recommendation we made in this parliament. So our recommendation is making an impact. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Exactly, I was supposed to conclude my response to exactly what the Honorable Member alluded. We already requested Accountant General Department, the Office of the Vice President, as well as the IGP, to give us update on our other resolutions. And we are in receipt of that resolution. The committee is going to review the receipt that we receive from those institutions, and by next session, give you update on the implementation of those resolutions. On that note, Honorable Speaker, let me once more thank you and then the entire members as well as the Office of the Clerk for enabling the committee to present this report. And I still move that the committee adopt the report with some amendments that were made in the report. On that note, I thank you.
Motion.
Thank you very much, Honorable
Speaker.
Honorable Minority Leader and Chair of FPAC. Let me also...
Motion.
Honorable, when I am ready, you've said it, when I'm ready, let me talk.
I thought that when motions are called...
You know, I'm talking. Please. Honorable, let me thank the chairman and all the membership of the committee, together with your backup staff, technical staff, advisors, etc. From all sides of parliament, we have listened to you. Everybody appreciates the job you have done. I think we need to commend you, and I think parliament should definitely stamp their marks for you. It's a job well done. I have also observed one thing. As daunting as the report is, both sides of parliament are concerned with the level of mismanagement and indiscipline within the public service as regards this report. Everybody is concerned to a level where members are lamenting, we don't know even what to do. That's what I have seen. Honorable, if you have things like fake receipts in your report, fake receipts, somebody prepares receipts and goes to get revenue. You have things like people don't deposit cash into the account. You have vouchers without documentation. A voucher is raised before payment. A voucher is raised, it's not documented. Somebody then signs for the check and signs for the voucher, but the voucher does not have those things, and yet you approve. Those are not excusable receipts for anybody. And you have missing receipt books, unapproved allowances paid. You have unrepaid loans to non-staff. How can institution give loans to non-staff? And still it's not paid. You still have checks cancelled but cashed.
If you come back here and we lament over these things, I can assure you, next report, you will find the same things occurring. So, honorable members, things like those ones should have stopped. And the only way it will stop is to make sure people pay the price for their those negligence. Otherwise, you'll just be laying reports. At the end, you'll comment, you'll blame that person over there, that person over there. No. You are the be-all and the end-all of everything accountable in this country. You are the people's voice and you are speaking for the people. That's why you are not accountable to anybody except your own people. And it makes all institutions accountable to you. So why do you have to lament? What has happened to those people? These people who have done this. They are still there and the report is still there. Nothing is happening. Nothing has happened. Next time you come, you'll find the same people doing it and it will be in the report. It will continue until doomsday. So I will urge the committee, together with all honorable members, that these things must stop and people must pay the price for some of these things. Otherwise, we will just be talking and talking. Honorable, I thank you very much and all those members who have contributed. It has been very clear that every member is concerned. I now put the question. Yeah, sorry, somebody, honorable member for Central Body, you were talking about.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Before you put the question, I want to move a motion for the committee of FPAC to make strong resolutions out of the recommendations to be submitted before the end of the session. Yes, and permit them to sit during the session to work on strong resolutions.
Is you had the motion, let me not repeat it, that there should be strong resolutions that should be developed from the report, and it should be able to say within this session, and that they be excused, the committee be excused from sessions, even during sessions, to go and do that. Any seconder to the motion? Yes, honorable majority.
Yes, in as much as we really want accountability of these things. I think if you look at the recommendation, each has been given 30 days after the lay of the report. So the committee must monitor this thing. I know. So after 30 days, the committee, in as much as they have drafted the decision, they should look at the compliance nature. Whether they have, I'm coming, they will still sit. But I want them to monitor, because when we approve this thing, they must monitor the recommendation, whether they have been adhered to or not, so that it can form part of the resolution they are drafting now, so that it now become defiant to Parliament's recommendation now. Yes. So I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the committee be authorized to to sit during sittings and then to extract a very strong resolutions from the report to be tabled before you people before the end of the session. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. So, honorable minority, you are now authorized, and you must bear in mind some of the comments and observations we have made. We should not just be talking. There must be actions. And the actions, people must pay. Otherwise, we would just be talking, honestly. I now put the question. Be resolved that this Honorable Assembly do adopt the report of the FPAC on the 2020 accounts of the Government of the Gambia and other public institutions. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Honorable members, I think it's good time for us. It's some minutes to 4, 8 minutes to 4. To 2, sorry. Okay. Today, I'm sorry, today I'm a Jaranka. You know, I'm not feeling very well. You know? Yes, I'm not feeling very fine. So we can do one more, or we go out for break.
Huh? You know, my worry is the lunch ready? If the lunch is not ready, we will go out for break, we will stay longer.
Let's do one more report.
Even if it means we are going to do the reading, at any time it finds us, we can stop and continue.
Yes. And the next one will summarize the
Am I
presentation.
right? No. All right, honorable members. All right, honorable members. The chorus looks like, let's have a break, let's have a break. It's almost 1400, that we have 1354. I think we give it 1 hour and come back. That's 3 o'clock. Or you can make it 45 minutes. But unlike yesterday we gave 45 minutes, and I came back, we cannot get a quorum. So when we say it, let's please come into the hall. So please, when we say we now agree at 1445 or 1500, 1 hour or 45 minutes, pick one. 1 hour. All right, now we would just suspend the sessions. It's 13:55. So I just make it 3 o'clock. Okay? Now suspend the sessions until 1500 hours.